All right, good morning, everyone. Before I start, just a quick test of my audio. Is my voice loud and clear to all of you? Just give me a quick thumbs up, everybody, on Zoom. All right, super. Switch on your videos, everyone. Let's get ready, please. Okay, and here I am. All of you able to see me and hear me both? Give me one more thumbs up, please. All right, super. All of you switch on your videos. Those of you who are here on Zoom, those of you who are on YouTube Live, congratulations for being part of the first free lesson of relationship mastery on YouTube Live. Let's get ready. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back once again for the Relationship Mastery Workshop. This is happening after a long time, maybe after I think about 2 months, we are doing it live batch again. So, welcome back because every time we learn something new, every time we upgrade a little bit, because I'm constantly growing in my relationships, and that is why I constantly bring in something new in every live batch. So, welcome back. And most importantly, I want all of you to write down. I hope some of you have already done this. Quickly write down new members if you're attending this for the first time today, that what do you want to manifest today and tomorrow in your relationships. And those of you who are senior members, I want you to write down in the notepad, what have you already manifested in your life by using the relationship mastery principles of law of attraction, and what would you like to manifest more in the next 2 days of relationship mastery workshop. In fact, in the chat window, quickly write down how many of you are attending for the first time today. Type in the word one. And those of you who are attending for the second time, type in 2. Those of you who are attending third time, type in 3. Let's see what answers we're getting in the chat window. And I will do a proper official poll later once we have maximum audience and attendance. But for now, I think we can see about 50% people are definitely new. A lot of people are attending for the second time. A lot of people are attending for the third time. A lot of people are attending for the fourth time. This is really amazing. Congratulations. So as you are attending, and you're writing this down today about your manifestation for today and tomorrow, I would like to start with result sharing. Result sharing for the new members to get hope, result sharing for the new members to get inspiration. Because today, if you're attending for the first time, yes, you're starting with a lot of hope, but I also know you're starting with a lot of self doubt, and that's completely normal. Doubt about, will it really work on me? Will it really work on my relationships? Will I really be able to attract a life partner? Will I really be able to have happiness in my relationships? That doubt is normal. One of the best ways to remove your doubt in life is by meeting people who have already got the result that you have. And that gives you direct inspiration because your mind says, okay, if this person can do it, I can do it. So I want some of the senior members here to raise your virtual Zoom hand to share your experience about, if you've attended this workshop already once, twice, 3 times, or 4 times, what results have you already manifested from this? What was your experience from the previous batch? As you're raising your virtual Zoom hand, I'm going to start with some of my best results that I have experienced from this workshop, because I learned relationship mastery from multiple masters in my life when I started growing. The first biggest lesson that I learned was that the biggest reason I was struggling in my relationships because I did not have relationship skills. Everyone write down RS. This RS is not rupees. This is relationship skills. The quality of your life depends on the quality of your relationships. By the way, how many of you agree with that? That the quality of your life itself depends on the quality of your relationships. How many of you would agree with that statement? Right? Example. Let us say a person has $100 million in bank account, but has extremely bad relationships. Will that person have a great quality of life or a low quality of life? You tell me in the chat window. Type in L for low, G for great. I assume that even though a person has $100 million, a person is not going to have a great quality of life, because the quality of your life, quality, not the quantity, the quality of your life depends on the quality of your relationships. So my relationship quality earlier, many years ago, about 20 years ago, were not very good because I realized the first biggest problem I had was I did not have relationship skills. Once I developed these relationship skills, I learned how to influence people. I learned how to charm people. I learned how to attract people. But there are two parts of relationships which I learned. One was attraction. Do we need to learn to be charismatic? Do we need to learn to be influential? Do we need to learn to listen to people? Do we need to learn to attract people in our life in the first place? Raise your hands. Yes or no? We do, right? And many people here are not good at that. Type in G for guilty if you're realizing you're not very good at attracting people. That's the first part. Now, some of you are very good at first part, but I was not good at the second part also, not only the first part. The second part was maintaining the relationships that I have. I used to attract after I learned how to attract. I started attracting relationships, but then I did not know how to sustain relationships. I used to have friends that used to break up. I used to have relationships that used to break up. I had more than 5 to 6 breakups in my life before I met Indu. And that's because I did not know how to sustain relationships. In fact, even with Indu, I don't believe the reason of the sustenance of this relationship goes to me. The credit goes to her. The first year, I actually tried to break up with her many, many times because that was my pattern at that time. How many people here are realizing that you are not good at even maintaining or sustaining relationships? Type in G2, which means guilty twice. I was guilty twice. I did not know how to attract also. I did not know how to sustain also. When I learned how to attract, I forgot how to learn how to sustain. So then later I also learned how to sustain my relationships. Once I learned that, the first thing that happened in my life as a result when I developed some of these relationship skills was I attracted Indu. Now I attracted her, but then sustaining was becoming difficult for me. That's where I took a lot of coaching, a lot of mentoring from my mentor Sahil, from Dr. Sudhir Arora, from Nitya, from Raj, from Landmark Forum, from Tony Robbins. I learned from multiple masters, from John D. Martini. And as I kept learning and learning and learning, I realized that the principles of attraction are different and the principles of retention are different. What is attraction? Attraction is bringing something in your life. What is retention? Retention is keeping something in your life, retaining it. I realized those principles are very different. So I started learning those. And as a result of that, not only did I attract into in my life, over a period of time, I realized I could sustain and I could retain my relationship. The good news is today it has been more than 22 years to our relationships, and we are still happily married. And I can proudly say we are not just married, we are happily married. How many of you agree there are many people who are married, but they can't say they're happily married? Now, the reason I'm able to say that, not because I'm lucky, because I and Indu, we both constantly work on our relationship skills. So I want you to write down in your notepad what are the skills that you think you are missing in your life? Are you missing the attraction skills? Or are you missing the retaining skills? And both these categories have many, many different level of skills. Type in one if you think the attraction skills are missing. Type in two if you agree both the skills are missing in your life, or very less skills of attracting, also very less skills of retaining also in your life. Now, not only did I get good at my relationship with Indu, over a period of time, I also started getting very good at attracting clients in my life. Now, attracting business is a lot to do with relationship management skills. How many of you agree with that? Relationship is not only about love and romance and attracting a partner. It's also about how do you relate to people in your day-to-day business life. How many of you agree with that? Let's ask a good question here. How many people here are struggling in your professional life? Type an I in the chat window if you're struggling in your professional life where you're not able to attract clients, you're not able to attract business. Here is why. You don't have attraction skills. So I started attracting a lot of corporate training business in my life. I started attracting corporate clients because I learned to have attraction skills. And because I was also learning retention skills along with that, I was able to retain clients for many, 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 many years in my life. Many of my clients became my very good friends. Some of them even became family friends over a period of years because of the skills that I and Indu had together. Now, that did not happen coincidentally. We were constantly learning. So I had attraction and retention skills in personal life. I had attraction and retention skills in my business, because of which my business started growing. Today, I can proudly say that not only do I have a good relationship with Indu and with a lot of my clients, but today now we have so many platinum members. We've not only attracted people, but we've retained our relationship with many, many platinum members for a long period of time. Ask in the chat window, for how many years are you associated with me? You will get answers like 1 year, 6 months. Some of them have been associated with me for 2 years, maybe even 3 years, 4 years. That's because the reason we are able to retain these relationships is because we know the skills that are required to retain relationships in our life. So I'm able to make a lot of money, not because I'm only selling a good product, because I'm good at managing relationships in life. Okay. The fourth biggest benefit I started getting in my life was my relationship with my parents started getting really better. I was not able to have a good relationship with my father earlier. and my relationship grew with my mom. My relationship grew with my father. Today, I and my father can have a really good conversation with each other. I remember those days when I and my dad could not talk to each other for more than 5 minutes. We used to just get into an argument. Today, we can sit with each other for 2 hours and we never fight anymore. I don't remember the last time I had an argument with my dad. With my mom, it's a much better relationship now. With my brother, with my sister, we have an accepting relationship today. But all of this is possible only because I learned both of these skills, the attraction skills and the retention skills. Now, how many of you want a life like mine where we have quality of relationships at home with your life partner, with your parents, with your brother and sister, with your friends, with your clients? And that is why your professional life is also growing. How many of you want that? Raise your hands, please. Then the next 2 days, the promise you have to give me is that you will not focus on solving one or two relationship problems. The reason you are stuck in your life is because you're not learning RS. What is RS? Tell me quickly in the chat window, what is RS? Relationship skills. You've not been focused on working on your relationships. You just constantly focus on solving problems. You have a problem where somebody doesn't like you, you go solve that problem. But then that's a temporary fix. If it's a temporary fix, the problem is going to come back. Today and tomorrow, I want you to focus on upgrading your what? Everybody show me your hands. I keep saying this, your frequency. But frequency means what? Frequency means skills. Something that you do frequently builds a skill. So for 2 days, how many of you promise you will work with me on building these attraction skills, building these relationship skills, these retention skills that are missing in your life? Raise your hands if you promise and type in I promise in the chat window, please. All right, awesome. Now I have shared my results with you. I would like some of the senior students to raise your virtual Zoom hand to share your results from the Relationship Mastery Workshop. And the biggest reason I want you to share, one is for yourself, because when you share, your results go deeper. That's one. Two, you inspire so many other members here who are new today and you give them hope. Example, how many new students right now got a lot of hope knowing that if Mitesh can grow in his relationships, you can also grow in your relationships. And I started with scratch, by the way. I started with zero. I was not good at relationships at all. If I can be where I am, I'm telling you, you can also learn and grow. So, new senior members, raise your virtual Zoom hand to share your results now. Starting with Meghlata ji. And here we go. Yes, Meghlata ji.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning. Happy morning to you.
Go for it.
Happy morning to Induji.
Happy morning. Yes, thank you.
And happy morning to everybody in the room. Yeah, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to share my things.
Most
And
welcome.
my relationship has been my strength always. Maybe because I was brought up in a big family, joint family from childhood and lived amongst 25, 28 people in the family.
Oh,
So I was always able to sail through any kind of relationship. And my
amazing.
mother was very, very particular about keeping up the relationship, maintaining the relationship. But when it comes to your spouse, it's different. We
Mhm.
became a nuclear family eventually, and I had problems, though I maintained certain things. My
Your
relationship.
voice suddenly went down. It just dropped. I don't know what happened.
Oh, no, no.
Is it only for me or for the rest of you also it dropped a bit, right?
For
She was
us
clear.
also.
Yeah, you try again.
All right, all right. Is it all right now?
Much better. I think it's the direction of the mic that changed. So maybe come a
Okay.
little closer to your laptop.
Yeah.
Much better.
So with him, there have been ups and downs, and but still it was all right. I mean, it was no problem and all. But off late, I felt there was some disconnect that was happening, even though there was no fight. Nothing is there. I don't know. I was thinking it's probably because of the age or whatever. But there was some kind of disconnect that was happening.
Mm,
I mean, he has been supportive. I've been supportive. I've been supporting him. All that was there. I don't know how to explain that, but that kind of disconnect I
was
was feeling at least, and probably even he was feeling that. I think after the relationship mastery course, certain things you asked us to do, and I did that definitely on the same day. And I even discussed certain things with him, whatever you were, because those things were very, very new to me.
mm,
Technical level, I was not aware. In practical level, I was sort of brought up in that atmosphere. So that was fine. So I was sharing certain things with him, and he started feeling, relating so many things. And suddenly we feel that there is that connection now that has happened, and it's going great. I mean, I never thought I had these problems. Actually, when I attended the course, I started realizing, oh, these are the problems I'm having. And it really helped me. And it's going great. And I have shared these things to children also to follow
Wow.
certain things on a day to day basis so that their life is smooth. And hopefully,
So
they are
if I may
doing it's
ask,
their journey.
if I may ask, how many years after marriage did you have this feeling of disconnect until you attended relationship mastery?
Uh, See, we are married now for 42 years. And now that happened around 39, 40 years after.
Wow. So you had that disconnection feeling for so many
For the
years.
last couple of years, I felt, this
That
disconnect.
that level of disconnect for the last 2 years.
Yeah,
And after the relationship mastery workshop, that connect came back in how much time?
instantly.
Wow. Wow. What was
I
one of the
would say
biggest things that you shared with him or practiced with him that made that difference for you?
one thing is, first thing I shared with him about the progesterone, that thing you were sharing with us, no? The hormones, the kind of hormones, the
Yes.
difference we have, that I shared with him. I was not aware of it. I mean, we learn so many things, but we are so dumb about so many things. Okay. So I shared with him that. I started understanding why he is behaving the way he is behaving, and I
Wow.
made him understand why I am behaving the way I am behaving.
Correct.
Okay, these things I shared with him and with my children also in detail.
Wow.
I feel this is the very important part for the married couple to understand,
Easy.
you know. And I started giving him, the hugs too we were doing, but that was always with the disconnect. That
Right.
passion was not there. That started happening, the kissing, hugging, and all. Started doing it with passion. You don't have to do it for the full stretch of the day.
Oh, you
Do it
don't.
once, two
Yeah.
minutes, 3 minutes. It makes all the world of difference, actually. It makes in the whole
Absolutely.
relationship. That
Wow.
was mind boggling. And that's what I'm telling you. I thought I worked out my life very well, and it's not that I had not problem. I had lots of my share of problems. I have been working on myself continuously. I thought, but I'm in a decent place. No problem for me in my life. But after attending your course, one after the other, I'm seeing the lapses where I am going through in my life. I'm trying to correct myself, and it's absolutely working.
Wow.
Relationship has gone from 6 to, I would say, 8.5 right now. It's
Wow.
absolutely mind
Congratulations,
blowing for
Meghtaji.
me.
Who would have imagined that after 40 years of a relationship, you can take it to the next level? This is really, really amazing. Thank you. That's why I wanted to
I
know,
also
was that
never
one
thought
lesson?
in my wildest dream, I never thought I have this kind of problem. And it's taking me to the different level.
Congratulations
People
again.
are also seeing what's happening with your life. What are you doing? Suddenly you're all bubbly, all what happens? So much of, I used to be very cheerful. Suddenly that cheer quotient had gone down, and sort of I felt everybody is busy. There's no purpose in my life. That kind of thing was there. And
Well,
suddenly I found my purpose
congratulations.
also.
Thank you
And
for inspiring so many people here based on that relationship sharing. All of you on mute, give her a high five.
so
Congratulations for magical love. Thank you. Thank you so much.
congratulations,
Congratulations for magical
relationship.
Congratulations for
love.
the magical love.
Congratulations for
For
magical
magical
love.
love.
Congratulations.
Wow. How many of you are inspired by that? Type an I for inspired if that is inspiring you. I want all of you to write this down. One of the intentions of the Relationship Mastery Workshop is let's make relationships easy. I use this word for energy and I use this symbol also for the word easy. Let's make relationships easy for both of us. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. Let's make it easy to relate with others. We are not easy to relate with other people. How many people here are guilty of that? Type in G for guilty. It's not easy for you to relate with many, 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 many type of people. You have only 4 or 5 people in your life that you can relate with. And because of that, you find you have very few people in your life that you can trust. But if you want to be really successful, the level of your success depends on the level of people that you can influence. If you can influence 5 people, that's the level of your success. If you can influence 5 million people, then that's the level of your success. So if you really want to influence more and more people, then you need to have that level of relationship with people. But for that, you got to learn to make it easy for you to relate with other people. Right now, your mind says it's not easy for me to relate to different type of people. I can only relate to certain type of people. How many of you can agree with what I'm saying right now? correct? So the first intention of the relationship mastery is let's make it easy for us to relate with different type of people. The second intention is let's make it easy for many people to relate with me. We are difficult to deal with, which means that many people cannot even relate with us. Let's make it easy for others to relate with us. How many of you agree that these are the two things we need to learn? Raise your hands. Okay. And you'll realize more as others are sharing in the group. All right, here we go. Next, going to Sudipta. Yes, Sudipta, go for it.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Good morning.
Joining after a long time. Okay. So every time
Welcome.
you like organize this session, I try to attend because this one course has changed my life completely. Completely. Means my perspective for this relationship course is different. First, previously it was good relationship with my parents and my family members. That's okay. But after joining, it's improving better, better, better. And from the business perspective, it really helped me to connect with my clients and also my stakeholders and my team member also.
Wow.
And it create the good relationship with the time, money, and myself. It's something that different. And now, as you told me, how you can easy to relate with others. Now my acceptance goes high. Previously, after attending this session, I have very limited friends who I can
Mhm.
share something, I can go with them. But now I have many friends. I'm attracting good friends, good partners, good stakeholder. And you told me if you want to influence the people, you have to learn how to know the unknown and undesired expectation of your audience or someone else. So I know how they think, they behave. So I always try to deposit in their account. So whenever
Wow.
I deposit something in their account, first I don't ask anything. For example, I want to go along with you. I want to need your attention. I always try to give the deposit on you. Then I ask something, and something charismatic thing happens. So whenever I meet the people, I try to feel them special, feel them
Wow.
good. So these kind of skills really help me to save my life, not only personal life, professional life a lot. Because
Um,
at the end of the day, I have to stay with the people, not the materialistic thing. Now,
that's true.
every day I live happily and peacefully, and more people are connecting with me. And thank you so much for giving us this lesson to build the charismatic personality. Few days back, I post something on the LinkedIn, and Charisma Mehta, the Humans of Bombay, I have the intention to get her attention, but she replied on my comments and say
Wow.
so many things about it. Because I
Um,
posted something to Charisma. Charisma, the things you are doing, you are really changing the world. Then I share my story. Then Charisma, man, Sudipto, your story looks like the Humans of Bombay story. Now I understand, and I want to give the gratitude to you. You are the person behind me who are like guiding me how to build the relationship with.
Congratulations, Sudipta. Very, very happy for you. You've definitely grown a lot, not only as a husband, but even as an entrepreneur. And we've seen that journey for you for the last couple of
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
So,
And also next thing is
congratulations.
that I also give I joined from Masum account, right? So Masum also joined. So every time we join, we learn something, and our relations are evolving. So we are like try to do something and trying to spread this skill to others. So few of my friends they're complaining about their merit and something like this. They're not the platinum member, they're not your community member, but I give them some guides. No marriage is bad due to bad anchor.
That's it.
Try to remember the good memories of yours. And they're
That's it.
trying something and they're changing their lives. Even though I'm not started my life
Masum has
course.
also joined in today. She's also logged in.
Yeah, Masu will join
Uh,
here. I'll join my laptop.
so she's in the other room. Where
Yeah, yeah,
let's check
she'll
her
join.
out.
Masum, just hold on.
I can't see her name, or is it by your name? Yeah, it's only yours so far. So those of you who don't know, Sudipta and his wife are both platinum members. They've joined individually both because of the kind of results that Sudipta experienced. He then brought in Masoom later. Hey Masoom, how's it going for you with the relationship
Hi.
mastery experience?
Yeah, it's going good, sir. How are you, sir?
Very good. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing very well, sir. So the
So
relationship mastery has changed many things in my life also, sir.
tell us one big result before and after relationship mastery program.
So the before the list of acceptance was very less, but
Mm,
after joining the relationship mastery, the list of acceptance has gone very high. So
wow.
I can understand why the people is behaving. I can understand why they are doing in that way. I always keep in mind that okay, I am platinum. I should be maintaining another frequency. They are okay to do that way. I'm okay with myself. I'm okay with
Wow.
whatever the reactions they are giving to me. I am platinum. I have to be in high frequency, so I
Amazing.
always build a high. And you always said that before building the house of relationship, you have to build a list of acceptance. So I
Yes.
House of marriage.
house of marriage, yeah.
Amazing, amazing. Congratulations to both of you. All of you on mute, give them a high five. Congratulations for magical love.
Congratulations for magical love.
Congratulations for magical love.
Congratulations.
Wow. How many of you can see the difference? They're not talking about problems anymore. They're only talking about relationship skills and they're only talking about new ways of being, right? Awesome. Let's go to the next one. And we've got Shilpa. You've already attended Relationship Mastery, Shilpa?
Yes, I have.
Okay,
Yes.
awesome. Go for it.
2 to 3 times. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So Mitesh, I just want to share that, what I actually had joined Platinum. One of the reasons was that after my twins were born, just before COVID, I felt that I had lost that connect with my husband.
Mm,
So, and that was one reason why I just wanted to feel reconnected. But after attending the relationship mastery, the first thing I felt is that I wanted to reconnect with my parents, my source. I literally had like tears coming out when I was writing the letter to them. And I didn't realize that I was holding on to some, maybe, some negative emotions that I had held on to it for years. And I
correct.
had released it in the first session. And post that, with my husband, you had worked with me on Firo B.
Yep.
So, and you told me that, you know, uh, just react on decisions which are big and leave the smaller ones. So, going to a restaurant, let him order. You take a seat back because I'm a lot of yang.
Because, and he's also high on control. So let him take control.
He's very high on control. So, that completely changed around my relationship with my husband.
Wow.
And recently, just like 10 days back, we had a major fight. We had a major fight, and when we are fighting, so we are both stubborn or whatever. But I realized that I was calm during the fight and during the entire process, and the way we have made up, it was very different from the earlier fights. So it got my relationship stronger. And I told him what I had to. So I usually hold my thoughts to myself. I don't express. But this time I said that no, I need to tell him and I need to resolve it in a constructive manner. And I did that. So I was very proud of the changes that I'm seeing. Also, on my relationship, actually, the rating was 3 on 10 before Platinum. And now I see somewhere 8 and 9.
Wow.
Um, Yes, because I and my fear was again the one of the fears I was holding is towards my in-laws. I had a lot of fear, and I posted it on the community, and Indu ma'am had guided me, and I'd followed that. So now what I started doing is one is to have balanced perspective towards things which are coming on an everyday basis, and to reflect. So if somebody's doing throwing some any negative comment or something, I said, okay, let me check. I've been like this in places. Let me not judge. Let me just accept that situation or the person. Because and another thing was in the workplace. So a lot of changes happened, and my manager moved out. I got a new manager, um, and everybody was talking negative about the manager because of maybe some competency issues or whatever.
Mhm.
But with him, yesterday on this 1 week, I realized that it took time. I'll not say it'll happen like that, but I realized that I've started accepting him the way he is. And I have aligned with him, and I'm actually delivering what he intends to do. I mean, he may not be putting it in the right perspective, but yes, the objective and the intent is now very clear. And so I mean, my life has completely changed. What I mean to say after the relationship workshop, and I can see it at every second and every minute of my life. So thank you so much for this
Congratulations, Shilpa. And how's your
wonderful
connect with your
gift.
husband now since you started with the conversation
Oh,
of connection with him?
so with him it was not bad, but it we rekindled the intimacy. Kind of is back. We are like
Amazing.
so he was always like jumping and hugging, and I used to be like yeah yeah yeah. Now I don't do it. I do it once in a while when I'm like the
Awesome.
kids are there. So but overall it's amazing. It's really really something that I was really
Congratulations,
looking.
Shilpa. Very, very happy for you. All of you on mute, give her a high five. Congratulations for magical love.
Congratulations for magical love. For
Congratulations for
magical
magical
love.
Congratulations
love.
for the magical life.
Congratulations.
Down, acceptance is a skill. Acceptance is a skill. A lot of people say Accept people the way they are, accept people the way they are, accept yourself the way they are. But has anybody taught you how to do it? No, it's a skill. And if you learn it as a skill, then it can be in your life again and again and again. You can repeat that skill. Okay. Let's go to the next one. We've got Pooja. Yes, go for it.
गुड मॉर्निंग सर
Yes, Pooja.
अगर मैं अपना पहले का वर्जन कहूँ ना तो हर छोटी बात में मैं हर्ट होती थी, गुस्सा होती थी। सो ऐसा मेरा इमोशनल पैटर्न था कि किसी ने थोड़ा भी कुछ बोल दिया तुरंत मैं रूठ जाती थी। और मेरे फैमिली मैं अभी तो मैं नहीं बोल रही, मेरे सारे फैमिली मेंबर्स बता रहे हैं कि यू आर सो मच चेंज्ड। और
Wow.
उन्होंने बताया, उसके बाद मैंने रियलाइज किया कि ओके, इतना चेंज मेरे अंदर आया है कि पहले कोई मतलब मेरे रूम में कुछ इधर कोई गेस्ट आए हैं, मेरे रूम में कोई चीज इधर का उधर हो जाए ना तो भी मैं हर्ट हूँ, गुस्सा हूँ, वो सब कुछ। और अभी हमारे कुछ क्लाइंट है, उन्होंने हमारे से सेशन लिया, उनके रिलेशनशिप में ऑलमोस्ट 10 इयर्स से प्रॉब्लम था, वो 1 मंथ में तो पूरा सॉल्व हो गया, उनके पेरेंट्स के साथ, हस्बैंड वाइफ के साथ, वो सारे। और उन्होंने अपने पूरे फैमिली को, एक नहीं पूरे के पूरे फैमिली को हमारे पास भेज दिया।
क्या बात है।
और ऐसा ऐसा अगेन एंड अगेन। मैं बोलूं ना कि मेरा खुद के साथ अभी मुझे एक अजीब सा क्वेश्चन हो रहा है कि मेरे पास सब कुछ है, तो फॉर एन एग्जांपल अगर फ्यूचर अभी मैं शादी कोई करे तो करे क्यों, कि मेरे पास सब कुछ है, तो किसी हस्बैंड की जरूरत क्या है? मुझे ये अजीब सा क्वेश्चन हो रहा है कि मेरी लाइफ में कोई कमी ही नहीं है।
Wow, that's a beautiful feeling to have. And now when you attract somebody, it's not going to be because you want to fulfill some emptiness. कोई कमी पूरी करने के लिए अब आप शादी करोगे नहीं। अब आप करोगे because you want to expand this feeling, not because you want to fulfill
मुझे ये
anything.
क्वेश्चन का आंसर चाहिए सर कि कोई इंसान शादी क्यों
We'll
करेगा?
work on that today. We'll work on that again.
Yeah. And
Amazing.
sir,
Congratulations.
we are
Yes,
not
yes.
only getting, yeah, we are not only getting money from the students, but we are getting love from them.
दूसरा, हमारे अंदर दूसरों के लिए काइंडनेस और कंपैशन, हम्बलनेस, ये क्वालिटीज बड़ी है। वी आर
Which was not there.
पहले किसी की प्रॉब्लम अगर मैं सुनूं ना तो इट वाज काइंड ऑफ ठीक है, उनका कुछ होगा, वो है। आई वाज क्वाइटली रूड, आई ऑनेस्टली स्पीकिंग, आई वाज क्वाइटली रूड टुवर्ड्स पीपल। अभी काइंडनेस, कंपैशन, हम्बलनेस, ये क्वालिटीज हमारे अंदर डेवलप हुई है।
Amazing. Congratulations to both of you as brothers and sisters. What you've done together as a family, what you've done together is amazing. We are super proud of both of you. Congratulations. All of you on mute,
थैंक यू
give them a high five. Congratulations for magical love.
Congratulations for magical
Congratulations
love.
for magical love. That's wonderful.
Oh, again, is that inspiring for some of you? Is this giving you hope that this is what you're going to learn in the next 2 days? Yes? Amazing. Let's take one more sharing and we'll move from there. I'm trying to take the new members, and here we are. Pooja. Yes, Pooja, go for it.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Relationship
Go ahead.
mastery is my most favorite thing. And
Okay.
I never believed in relationship mastery. I didn't look at the lesson for 2 years because I used to feel I don't have a spouse, I don't have
Problems.
any problems, so it's not for me. But it is for everyone because it teaches relationship with yourself from a person who was absolutely used to hate herself, feel very unloved, feel empty and insecure all the time. And reflection theory, which I have learned from you. Now, for everything, it's like that person is showing a reflection of me. That means there is something I need to work on myself. And I am a much, much happier, sorted, I don't know, I'm in a dream world. Sir,
Wow.
this is a game changing thing.
Beautiful, beautiful.
It's a
Congratulations,
beautiful
Pooja.
experience.
So,
Thank
compared to
you,
the
sir.
earlier Pooja who was insecure, fearful, what is the new Pooja after the relationship mastery?
Happy, sorted, in control, and in love with herself.
Wow.
So
I
like
like
just
that.
now, what you told Pooja, that now you will, when you will, I had the same thing. Now I have the same thing. Why should I marry? I'm complete in myself. I don't need anything.
So
I
now
feel,
you won't go behind a person. It'll come. This is called attraction. Now the attraction will happen because you're not pushing anything. You're not pulling anything. Amazing.
yes.
Congratulations, Pooja. All of you on
Thank you,
mute,
sir.
give her a high five again. Congratulations for magical love.
Congratulations for magical love.
Congratulations for
Magical
magical
love.
love.
Right, and there are so many more people to share. We've got Suresh, we've got Charu, we've got Sriram, we've got Yamini, Shubha, Priya, and I can't even tell you how many more people we have from Relationship Mastery who've already created magical love in their life for themselves and for people around them. And they've made this world a better place because the more people learn Relationship Mastery, I think we make this world a better place. How many of you agree with that? Right? So, congratulations. And some of you might be a little confused what Pooja was talking about earlier when she was saying that others are coming to her for life coaching because she's a platinum member. So she has become a life coach now where she's helping other people on relationship mastery. How many of you would love to be my partners one day? Where you would love to teach relationship mastery, where you would love to be a relationship coach one day, where you would love to take a family which is breaking up and in just one session you bring the family back together. Type an I in the chat window if you're interested in that. Tomorrow, sometime before lunch, I'll give you the invitation to be part of Platinum, where we'll show you how you can also become a coach just like Pooja. But today, I will do more sharing a little later, I promise you, with the rest of the members who've raised their hands. Right now, let's start with lesson number 1 on relationship mastery, which is called as the source of your relationships. Let's get ready. All right, let's get ready with the primary lesson, the lesson number 1 of relationship mastery, which is the source of your relationships. Before I teach you this lesson, I want you to do a quick exercise. I want you to take your notepad quickly. And whether you're attending on Zoom or whether you're attending on YouTube Live, please make sure that you do this exercise properly. This is the very first lesson and the most critical exercise of the day. Take a notepad and take a blank page quickly. Okay. And on that blank page, make sure that you put a line in the center so you get 2 columns. Now, quickly write down on the left side RP, relationship problems. And on the right side, the right column you will mention as RS, relationship skills. On the left side, I want you to write down what are the current relationship problems that you're going through in your life right now. And I don't want you to only write down the problem. I want you to write down the name of the person and what problem you have with them. It can be a complaint you have with them. Example, if I did this exercise, let's say 20 years ago, which is when I did first time, I wrote down the name of my father. And the complaint I had with him was he doesn't support me. He doesn't trust me. He doesn't back me up. If I had to write down my sister's name at that time, I would write she doesn't relate with me and I can't relate with her. If, let's say, 10, 15 years ago, when I met Indu for the first time, and 20 years ago, about 18, 20 years ago, at that time, in the initial first 2 years of my relationship, if you asked me what are my complaints with Indu, I would have written, uh, I don't know how to deal with her. I don't know how to communicate with her when she doesn't listen to me. So these are some of the examples of relationship problems that I want you to write down on the left side. And then I'll tell you what to write on the right side. But don't do anything on the right side yet. First, I want you to write down all your relationship problems on the left side. Problems with your parents, problems with your spouse, problems with your friends, problems with yourself. How many of you realize you do have a lot of problems with yourself also? Yes or no? You're angry with yourself. You have complaints with yourself. What are those complaints? Mention it, write it. What are the problems you have with your boss? What are the problems that you have with your colleagues? What are the problems that you have with your subordinates? What are the problems that you have with your friends? Write everything down. Some of you know me for quite some time. Maybe you have some problems with me. Then write that also on the left side. So quickly write down all these relationship problems. I'm going to give you 1 minute for this. My video is off and I'm going to keep some good music on for all of you in a few seconds. All right. If you're done, I want you to quickly raise your Zoom hand to share what are the problems that you've written down, please. Quickly. And some of you can also write in the chat window what are the problems that you've written down. But when you're reading the problems to me, when I ask you to unmute, just read the problems, don't tell me details, okay? So for an example, Chakpreet, quickly tell me some of the problems that you have written down.
I have problem with my wife. It's that she prioritizes kids a lot and doesn't prioritize me, and she judges me a lot, and that gets me irritated.
Okay, got it. So this is an example of that. Let's go next to Pushpa. Yes, Pushpa, go for it. Hold on, I put myself out of spotlight and bringing you back. Yes, Pushpa, go for it. I have unmuted you now. Read your problems.
Yeah, so one is with father. So he asks every time for investment, and investing is not a problem for me, but I'm not sure whether he can make a profit over that or not. So that is one. And second is with myself. Uh, I can easily move on. So like now I analyze like this is my pattern, I think. Because of that, like I'm struggling something with relationships.
Okay, done. Thank you. Let's go next to Khushbu. What are some of the relationship problems that you've identified?
Sir, I feel like whenever I'm in relationship, any guy he doesn't give much time to me, and he does not correlate it with me. And sometimes, like in the starting phase, it will be good, but my relationship, I am getting breakup because of another girl. Means
Right.
some of the other person are coming, and like he will have affair with that person. So people are ditching me.
Okay, all right. So that's the problem that you're facing. Let's take a couple of more examples in the chat window also. Shriram, what are some of the relationship problems that you've written down?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
one is with my spouse. So she always thinks that she has some health issues.
She always thinks she has some health issues.
She always thinks that she has some health issues.
So she's
I
always
thought-
feeling insecure, uncertain.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, all
Always
right.
like visiting hundreds of doctors
Okay.
where possible. And with my father, like he always wants his decision to be final. If it is right or wrong, whatever it is.
So he's dominating.
Yeah, he wants. I stay with my parents, so that is one. And with my mother, she always thinks about her comfort first. So she doesn't take care if someone is suffering or not. With my manager, it is like he wants all the work to be done, work for 15 hours, 18 hours, but he doesn't want to take care of the team members or the managers who are working under him.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much. All right. How many of you are getting a little clear about the relationship problems that you have? In fact, how many of you are realizing you've got a lot of these problems, but you've never written down in one place? Always do this exercise on a regular basis where you write down your relationship problems in one side. Okay. Now let's understand, why do you have some of these problems? Now, there are many skills which are missing in you. And believe me, you don't even know what skills are missing in you. You heard some of the senior students when they were sharing, they shared that when I came to relationship mastery workshop, I thought I had no problems. But then I realized what was missing in me, and I realized that's why all these problems were happening. So let's understand one of the biggest skills that we don't have, because of which these relationship problems are happening in our life. Okay. Here is the biggest skill. Everybody write this down. We lack connection with our source. We lack connection with our source. Now, what do I mean by connection with our source? The biggest problems that are happening in your relationship today, the reason for that is your disconnection with your source. Now, everybody stop making notes. Look at me. I'm about to say something that is going to make a wow effect in your mind right now. The problems that you're attracting in your relationships today, listen to me carefully. The problems that you're attracting in your relationships today is because of the complaints that you have with your parents for many years. I'll repeat, the problems that you have in your relationships today is because of the complaints that you have with your parents for many years. And the complaints that you have with your parents for many years are the skills that you're missing in your life today. And that's why you're struggling. How many of you have never heard this before? Type an I in the chat window if you've never heard this before. This is the source of all your problems. This is the source of all your relationship problems because you're disconnected with your source. Let me give you an example of that. Electricity right now is coming on my face. There is light here. If I switch off the button here, the light switches off. But the real connection of the electricity is not from this button. It's from the electricity board somewhere out there. That's the source of electricity. Just like this, there are many people in your life right now, but they are not the source of your relationship. Your source is where you're born from. Everybody write this down. My source is where I'm born. Isn't that true actually? If I'm born at a particular place, that is my source. So people ask, where are you from? Are you from India? Are you from US? Are you from Canada? Are you from Singapore? That's your source. Just like that, in a relationship aspect, your source is your parents because that's where you're born from. Now, if that is your source, your source of energy, your source of love, your source of relationships, and this is your parents and this is you, and you're born from them. By the way, am I giving you positive thinking or philosophical thinking here? Or is this scientifically correct that we are literally born from our parents? We are literally part of our parents. Type in yes in the chat window if you agree with me. Correct? So if you are part of your parents, you're literally born from them. As you're growing and as you are having lots of complaints with them, there is a disconnection between you and your parents. And over a period of years, this disconnection grows and grows and grows and grows. As this disconnection keeps growing, a time comes when you're totally disconnected with your parents, consciously or unconsciously. On a level of 1 to 10, I want you to write down in the notepad and in the chat window right now, what's the current level of relationships that you have with your parents? See, not having a problem with your parents is not a relationship. I'm asking you, what is the quality of relationship with your parents? 1 being very low, 10 being very high. Are you spending time with them? Are you spending quality time with them? Can you laugh with them? Can you talk to them? Can you go out with them? Are you regularly connecting with them? And you will realize that most people here are giving numbers below 5. Not all, but most people. Those people who are giving you good numbers, most of them are members who are already gone through Relationship Mastery Workshop. But let's understand why this is the problem, why this is the source of all your problems. Here is why. As you're growing up, your parents are the ones who love you a lot, but they are also not perfect. Why are they not perfect? Are your parents born with a manual on how to bring up children? Hello? Are they do they have a manual? They don't have a manual. So if they don't have a manual, how are they bringing up children? How are they bringing you up? Trial and error, which everybody does that. And because of trial and error, are they perfect? No, they're not perfect. So till the age of 5, you accept all their imperfections because you don't understand anything. But as you're growing up, you develop a sense of identity, you develop a sense of ego, you develop a sense of I, you develop a sense of rights and wrongs and goods and bads. And as you're growing up, you start having complaints with your parents. Now, believe it or not, the complaints that you have with your parents are the skills that you're missing in your life today. And because you're missing your skills in your life today is why you're struggling in your life today. I'll give you a very good example. I remember there's this one person who told me in Relationship Mastery once that I cannot handle people who dominate me. How many people have this problem here? Type an I in the chat window if you have this problem. You cannot handle people who dominate. If they speak loudly, you can't handle it. You either run away or you become very submissive in front of them. I'll tell you why you have this problem. One of your parents, either your mom and dad, dominated you a lot and you did not know how to handle that, and you can constantly have this complaint with that parent of they being very dominating. Which parent was dominating for you? Type in, was it mom or was it dad? And if you continued having a complaint with them all your life about they being dominating, here is what happened. Listen to me carefully. This is mind-blowing knowledge that I'm giving you right now. If my father is dominating me, now in my case, it's not my father, I'm just giving you an example. If my father is dominating me, And if I have that as a complaint towards my father, do I appreciate his domination skills? Give me a yes or no. I'll repeat my question. If somebody is dominating me, that's my father. I don't like that. I complain that about him. Then do I appreciate him for that? No, I don't appreciate him for that. Now listen to me. If you don't appreciate something, you can't learn from it. But if you complain and if you judge, you're always going to run away from that quality, and you're always going to say, I don't like this quality and I will never become like this. How many of you get clarity on what I'm saying? I don't like these kind of people and I will never become like this. Now here is what happens. The more you have complaints with that person, the more you run away from any person who has similar what? Everybody tell me in the chat window, who has similar what? If I run away from my father, I will run away from any person who has similar traits, similar behaviors, similar qualities. That means in this particular example, I will always run away from what type of people? Quickly tell me in the chat window. I will always run away from what type of people? If you remember this example, dominating people. My question is, you can run away from your father, but can you really run away from dominating people all your life? No. So you may think you have avoided your father, but you have not avoided your father. You keep manifesting your father in the form of different people in your life. Sometimes your spouse, sometimes your boss. Those people who have realized this right now, tell me, in which form have you attracted dominating people? Which form? Which roop? Right? Is it your spouse? Like in my case, I'll tell you what. My mother is a very, very dominating personality. And I do not like that she's dominating. So I attracted Indu in my life, who's a dominating personality. Whoever you are avoiding between your parents, you're not avoiding your parent, you're not avoiding your mom or dad, you're avoiding a particular quality, a particular trait, a particular behavior in them, and that's your complaint towards them. That is why you're going to always run away from those kind of people. But those are the exact people that you're going to attract in your life. And when you attract those people in your life will become more difficult or less difficult. Everybody tell me in the chat window, MD for more difficult or LD for less difficult. Your life is going to become more difficult in life because you're not learning those skills of how to handle dominating people. So what was the purpose of your father being dominating? What was the purpose of your mother being dominating? The purpose was to teach you how to handle domination. But because you never appreciated that, because nobody taught you that, instead of learning that skill with your father, instead of learning that skill with your mother, you avoided them and you always had a complaint towards them. And as a result of that, now you can't avoid it anywhere in your life. But if you go back to your parents, if you go back to your mom or your dad, and if you appreciate that quality within them, and if you learn to deal with that quality, specifically with that parent, specifically with father, write this down. My parents are the biggest lessons in my life. My parents are the biggest lessons in my life. If you learn how to deal with your domination with your father, you'll realize that suddenly you can deal with domination with anybody in the world. How many of you can agree with me? Type in I in the chat window if you agree with me that if you can learn to deal with your mom, you can deal with anybody. If you can learn to deal with your father, you can deal with anybody in life. If you can learn to deal with your mother-in-law, you can deal with anybody in life. If you can learn to deal with your father-in-law, you can deal with anybody in life. Type in yes in the chat window if you agree. Correct? But instead of learning to deal with them, what we do is we avoid them. But we cannot avoid them because you're attracting those qualities somewhere else because your lessons are not being completed yet. And you'll keep struggling because those skills are missing. How many of you are blown away right now? And are you understanding what I'm saying is correct? That yes, if you're disconnected with your parents, you're going to struggle in your life today. I'll give you one more example. Your love, some of you feel empty in your marriage. How many of you feel empty in your marriage? How many of you feel empty in your relationships? Type an I in the chat window, even though you're married for many, many years. And if you keep having relationships and you keep breaking up and you keep feeling empty, type an I. I'll tell you why. I'll give you an example of a beautiful story. One of our platinum members once, we were doing the one day miracle meet. And I remember she was crying a lot. And I said, what happened? So she said, there is a big crisis that I'm going through. I said, tell me what happened. And she said, there is this one particular guy whom I love for the last 6 months. And we've been only having conversations on chat or phone. We have never met each other on a video call. We have only had conversations on the phone, and we have only seen each other's pictures for the last 6 months. And I'm really in love with him. I said, what's the problem? So she said, now suddenly I have come to know that the guy who's been talking to me on the phone and the picture that he has sent me are two different people. How many of you think that's a big problem? Right? And she's deeply and madly in love with whom? Make a guess. The guy she speaks with or the picture she looks at? Who do you think she's really in love with? She's really in love with the person, not the one she speaks with, the one she's looking at. And I'll tell you why. There are three kind of people in the world. Everybody write down. In NLP, you will learn this more in detail. VAK, visual, auditory, and kinesthetic people. If you are a visual kind of a person, love for you is always going to be based on looks. If you're an auditory kind of a person, love for you is always going to be based on conversations and what you hear. If you're a kinesthetic person, love for you is always going to be based on how you feel, how somebody touches you, how somebody makes you feel. How many of you are realizing this right now? Some of you are more visual, some of you are more auditory, some of you are more kinesthetic. We'll go into details of this later. But I asked her, I said, what are you more in love with? The guy you speak with or the guy you look at? And she said, I'm more in love with the picture. And she said, here is what she did. She found the guy who was in the picture by going on the internet and doing a search through that picture. And she found that guy and she contacted that guy and said, I am actually in love with you. Now, unfortunately, that guy is married. So, bigger problem. Can she really go back to that guy? No. By the way, does that guy know her? He has no idea. He has no idea. Some person is randomly using his image. Now, as per most of you right now, this looks like a huge problem, but I was able to resolve this problem in just 30 minutes. And I'll tell you how. I told her, I said, you're not in love with the guy who's in the picture. You are actually in love with a person who looks like this picture for many, many years, and you're actually missing that person. But because you don't have a relationship with that person, you keep attracting people like this picture. She said, what do you mean? I said, tell me, is there anybody else you're attracted to right now in your life? She said, yes, I am. There's somebody else also she's attracted to. And I said, tell me, this new person whom you're attracted to right now and this picture that you're talking about, do they have similar physical looks? She thought of it like this and she said, yeah, actually they do. I said, I'll tell you why you have similar attractions with similar people. How many of you have heard about this? We all have a type, right? We get attracted to a particular type of people. Raise your hands if you agree with me, right? But why do we get attracted to a particular type of people? You will understand this science today for the first time. I told her, I said, the reason you're attracted to this picture is not because you're in love with this guy. You're actually in love with somebody else. Can you make a guess who she's in love with? And she's missing that person. That's right, it's her father. Without even asking her, I didn't even ask her. Because of her life conditions, I can predict her past. I asked her, I said, if I'm not wrong, you don't have a good relationship with your father. You have a lot of complaints with your father. Is it true? What do you think she said? She said, yes. How do you know? I said, I know because you're struggling in your relationships today with your life partner. I can almost guarantee you, if you're struggling in your marriage, it's because you don't have a good relationship with one of your parents or both of your parents. I guarantee you that. Stamp paper, 100% guarantee written. Now, I asked her, I said, tell me, what are some of the complaints that you have with your father? And she said, one of the complaints I have with him was that he doesn't always open up to me. And when he opens up to me, I'm not 100% sure whether he's really being honest with me. I said, can you see these are the similar people you're attracting in your life who either don't open up with you or you can't trust them fully? The complaints that you're missing with your father are the complaints that you're attracting in your life partner. Not just your life partner, you'll attract them everywhere in life. Now, something crazy I showed her. I said, can you show me a picture of your father? Picture. She said yes. So she went on her phone and she found the picture of her father. And I said, now look at the picture of the person you're attracted to. And we were in the one day miracle meet. We were in a physical program where we meet all platinum members once in a year. And we were all surrounded by lots of people over there in the evening. I showed the picture of her father and the picture of her person she's attracted to. and 90% similar looks. Round face, slight beard, fair complexion, small hair. I still remember this. Everybody type in crazy if you agree this is crazy, that we actually get attracted to people who are even physically looking like our parents. Now, what is the science behind this? Here is the science behind this. I told her, I said, until the age of 4 or 5, until you don't really develop that very strong ego, you're a child. Who's the only person who looks in your eyes and says, I love you? Your mom and your dad. So in case of a girl, what is the only male attraction that she has experienced till the age of 5? Come on. Father. He literally looks in her eyes and says, I love you. You are my princess. Gives her a hug, right? And for most girls, it doesn't only go on till the age of 5, it goes on till the age of 10. And if you have a very good relationship with your father, it goes on even till 15, 16. So until the age of 10, 15, 16, a girl goes through a lot of love through her father, and it's his face that she's looking at between the age of 5 to 15. Don't you think that typical face has been programmed in your subconscious mind now? Think about it. You look at the same face again and again and again and again and again and again and again. And now that also goes for guys, by the way. For the guys, what is the source of a female attraction for the first time in his life? Tell me quickly in the chat window for the guys. Mom. Till the age of 5 to 15, the only woman he looks in the eyes of and experiences love from as an attraction is his mom. And that is why the physical appearance of his mom becomes his subconscious attraction formula. So whenever he looks at people who are similar to his wife, he will get attracted to her. That is his type. So I'll give you my example. When I learned this science for the first time, I realized that all the girls whom I had broken up with in my past were girls who looked very, very similar to my mom. So coming back to the story, I told her, I said, your father looks very similar to this picture, and your problem is not this guy. Your problem is you have lost connection with your father. And if you don't go back and connect with your father, you will keep finding people to fulfill that gap that you're feeling. That emptiness that you're feeling is not actually, you're never going to be able to fill up that gap with these people. You will have to fill up that gap originally where it was missing from. That source is the connection that you will have to go back to. She said, but how? So I made her do this beautiful exercise, which we will do now in some time. And I made her go back to that source. I made her go back to that connection. And after 3 minutes of this, she had tears in her eyes and she had love for her father that she had never felt before. She felt connection with her father that she had never felt before. I dissolved all her complaints with her father. And I said, now tell me, how do you feel about your father? She said, right now I'm feeling like a little girl who's once again in love with her father. I said, now look at the picture of the guy whom you're in love with and tell me, when you look at him, do you miss him right now in this moment? What do you think she said? She said, no, I don't miss him right now. I said, wow, you just went through a crazy breakup. You just went through a guy who cheated you for 6 months. Suddenly you don't miss him anymore. Half an hour before you were crying like crazy. Where is the missing factor gone? It's gone because she's gone back to her source. And suddenly she was very peaceful. And 30 seconds after that, she asks me another question. She says, Mitesh, can I ask you one more question? I said, yeah, sure. And she said, I have been struggling in my career with my job and I'm trying to get this particular promotion. She spoke for 30 seconds. Then I stopped her. I said, observe. Even the quality of your questions have changed. Your focus has shifted from relationship to career suddenly. You're not even focused on your relationships anymore, because when your source is reconnected to you, there are no problems in your relationships. There is nothing to ask in your relationships. Is it normal for a girl to go through this kind of a problem and suddenly start focusing on career? Is it normal? It's not normal at all. But why is she suddenly focused on career? Because all the relationship problems are dissolved. But why is it dissolved? Because she's gone back to her source. Everybody unmute and give me one word. How are you feeling after listening to the story?
Wow. Wow. It's miraculous. Miraculous.
Is this making sense to a lot of you now? I will give you the proof right now. This was just a story I told you. Now I'll give you some proof. Who is the person right now who spoke to me and she said that she's constantly attracting people who break up with her because they get attracted to another girl, and then she's again into a cheating relationship once again? Who's the person who spoke to me a few minutes ago? I forgot her name. Can you physically raise your hands again if you're still there? You're not there. Okay. So is there anybody else who is realizing that you're going through a lot of bad relationships in your life right now? Okay. And I'll show you why you're going through bad relationships right now. Okay. Dr. Bharti. So what's the quality of your relationship right now with your life partner?
With my life partner, it is almost 8 to 9, sir. No
Okay.
problem
So if
on
it's 8 to 9, hold on right now, because I want to take right now some people who are struggling with somebody's relationships. Okay. I think it was probably Khushbu, was it? Okay. Here we go. Yes, Khushbu.
Sir,
You shared
yeah,
about you're going through this problem in your relationships, right? When I
yeah.
was telling you this whole story, what did you realize?
I realized that my relationship problem was because I was over expressive. Okay,
Hmm.
and my dad is over expressive. I
Hmm.
don't like that
You
in
don't
my
like that.
dad. I don't like. He
Hmm.
whenever we'll say ये चीज उनको मत बोलना वो बोल देते हैं.
Hmm.
Oh, and he is kind of dominating, and I am also dominating. So whatever problem is there in my dad, it is there in me.
Yep.
Not with the guy, but in me.
So if you
That I
think about
realize.
all the complaints that you've got with your father, not only you don't know how to deal with those qualities, you've become that.
Yeah, I have become that. I love my dad and he loves me a lot. Like I
Sure.
gave like 7 points for him, but the only 2 3 problems are there which I don't like, and we argue sometimes because of that. And he doesn't like sometimes my dressing sense, so I don't like my bhabhi's dressing sense.
Hmm.
It's
And I'll
like
tell
that.
you what you don't like. Your dressing sense is more yang energy. In advanced LOA, you'll and in today's workshop also we'll learn about yin and yang energy. Yin is more feminine energy, yang is more masculine energy, which means girls and boys. So
No,
you
no,
dress more
mine
like,
is yin energy only. Like if I'll wear a sleeveless dress or something, he doesn't like sleeveless dresses.
but
Okay.
your
I am wearing jacket
personality,
because it is cold. So my brother's jacket I am
I get
wearing
it,
today first
but your
time because it's
personality
new.
is more yin energy or more yang energy, more
Yin
submissive,
energy.
more
I'm very
aggressive.
emotional. Very emotional. I am like fed up with my emotional things. But my dad is not emotional.
Emotional, but you're also very aggressive.
Very aggressive. Sir?
Your dominating personality that your dad has and the
Yeah.
aggressive energy that he has, you have the same energy.
Yeah. My mom also has aggressive energy. My dad also have, but my
So that's
dad is
not
like
yin.
sometimes only he does that. Not every day. अचानक से वॉल्केनो की तरह फूट जाते हैं जहां पे जरूरत ही नहीं है गुस्सा करने की. He's like that.
Now, in your case, that is not the yin energy, that's the yang energy. The reason you're breaking up with people in your life is because when you get into a new relationship, you get into a new relationship because of the attraction between two people, physical attraction. Initially, it's always physical. First 2 days, it's always physical. Then you start understanding characteristics of a person and then you start getting more attracted. But then you will see qualities in another person which you don't like in your people that you don't like. And then you start avoiding them. Or you will start behaving based on the qualities that you don't like in your parents, which in
Yeah.
your case is being overexpressive, being aggressive. And then here is what happens. Because your yang energy is high, there is no chemistry after some time in your relationship with another guy.
Yeah. And
Friendship is dead.
like look wise, I like same like my dad.
There you go.
I like tall guys. I don't even have friends who are like short height.
There you
Don't
go.
have any friends.
Now,
Fair, tall
when that
guy,
guy comes in
sports
your life,
person.
because your yang energy is strong and the chemistry goes away after some time, he feels something is missing for him in the relationship. And I'll tell you what's missing for him. For him, what's missing is the intimacy and the attraction, the chemistry. When that chemistry is missing for him, what is he going to do?
He will jump maybe to another guy.
Exactly. Then, the moment he finds that chemistry somewhere else, he gets attracted. That is why that's happening with you again and again. So the idea is not to only have affirmations to have a loyal husband or a loyal partner, but the idea is to first reconnect with your source and resolve those problems. And I'll show you how to do that today in the next lesson. But until you don't resolve those problems, this kind of a life partner will keep coming in your life again and again and again.
So, sir, I thought like my father is very loyal and honest, very over loyal. I am like that, but I am not attracting that kind of guy in my life.
But
Like,
that's because you're
people are
attracting
not
people with
interested in talking to
complaints.
me.
You're attracting based on the complaints that you have with your father. Those complaints you are demonstrating.
Yeah.
Those behaviors you are demonstrating. And that repels people. Repels means it moves people away from you rather than attract people to you. And the
Yeah.
more people move away, how do you feel after that?
I cry a lot.
Because you feel lonely.
Yeah.
So your loneliness is not because of when people leave you. Your loneliness is because you have a disconnection with yourself, with your own yin energy. You feel you are yin, but it's not only the dressing, it's also your behavior and your qualities that I'm talking about.
Yeah, behavior wise, I am not in.
That's what I'm
Only
talking.
emotional part is in. Rest, like
See,
everything
obviously
I
you're
do, like
yin
guys also.
because you are a woman after all. So those yin qualities are there, but it is suppressed. And the yang is activated more. And that is why you have a disconnection with yourself. So when you have a disconnection with yourself, a partner is always going to be, the role of a partner is always going to be to feel complete. And you will always feel incomplete without a partner. You'll feel desperate without a partner.
True.
That's because you have a disconnection with your own yin energy. But the day you have connection with yourself, and also you have connection with your parents, both, but you can't do one without the other. First, you have to connect with your parents, and then you have to connect with yourself, which is both things that we will learn today. Once you have that, you feel so complete within you that before attracting a person, you will be satisfied. After attracting a person, you will be satisfied. Because now you're not attracting a guy in your life to feel satisfied. You heard two people who are senior students right now who were sharing that they've attended relationship mastery so many times that now they don't know why they should get married. Because the reason for marriage normally is I'm feeling incomplete, I need to complete something.
Yeah,
For
I
them, that
have that
feeling has
problem.
disappeared. For you, that feeling is still there.
Yeah.
So what you do is you cry alone.
Yeah. And I
Because
always feel like I have so many colleagues, friends, neighbors, they love me a lot. My relatives, they love me a lot. My parents, they love me a lot. I always feel why only this part
yeah,
is
is
not coming
missing.
properly to me in my life. Everybody is loving me, so why not these guys?
That's because that is the part that you feel is the source of your completion. But if you're feeling that is the source of your incompletion, then you're feeling incomplete every day. So if your frequency is incompletion, what do you attract?
Wrong people.
Exactly. You attract people who are also incomplete within them. It's not wrong people. I don't say anybody's a bad person. I say those people are as incomplete as you are. They're as empty as you are. One empty person is attracting another empty person. Think about it. Right now, you're only thinking something is wrong with you because of which this guy is not loving you and loving somebody else, right? But if you really think about it, he's equally broken. He's equally empty. First, he finds love with you.
Feel
Then he
like
finds
I
love
am
with someone else.
dominating. Maybe because of that, it is not working, and I am over expressive. I talk so much. I sometimes people say like you write essay in WhatsApp. Not one line or two line sentence I will not write. Even my manager will say, हाँ लिख लो तो मैं ऐसे पीछे से देख के
Tomorrow, you'll understand
always
this. This is
typing like
called
that.
as women talk in details and men
Yeah,
talk
I
briefly.
am
So
like that.
you'll understand this tomorrow. But the point is, because of that, you're attracting people who are also empty. The problem is not just you. The problem is also the frequency that you have is attracting empty people. And you may think that he's gone in love with somebody else, but he has not. I guarantee you. I guarantee whoever he's got attracted to is not the last person. Even though he may get married to this girl, he will still be attracted to somebody else.
Twice it has happened, but yeah, they didn't get married.
Excuse me for that. Now, why will that person not be happy with that person forever? Because he's also empty inside him. And why is he empty inside him? Because he's also disconnected with whose source?
Um,
His own source. his own parents. Now, if you keep disconnecting with your source like this and you don't activate that yin energy inside you, and you keep doing affirmations of I'm happily married, you keep doing hope, nope, 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 to right, attract the right partner, do you think it's going to work? No.
Whatever I have written for different people, also, I believe in law of attraction. So, whatever I have written in my diary, everything has happened except relationship thing, everything for others, also for job, also for myself, also, everything has happened.
Because
Only
affirmations
relationship is
don't
not
work
working.
only because of the affirmations, they work because of the energy and the frequency behind it. This is the frequency I was talking about. Does that make sense now?
Yeah.
So next 2 days is going to be all about you developing these skills and reconnecting with your source and reconnecting with yourself. So my request is today and tomorrow, don't work on how to attract a life partner. Work on how you can become a better person with your parents and with yourself. Once that happens, the attraction will happen easily. Okay? Awesome. All of you on mute, give her a high five. Congratulations for magical love in your life.
Congratulations for
Congratulations
magical
for
love.
magical love in your life.
Okay.
Mute and tell me, did that make sense to you? Did that conversation have something for yourself? Did you learn
Yes.
something from that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good.
Same story.
100%. Yes.
Awesome.
Can
All
find.
right. Let's take one more person here who's going through a lot of problems, and somebody whose relationships on a level of 1 to 10 is like 1 or 2, and I'll show you why you're going through those problems in life. All right. So who else is going through struggles? So Prajakta. Yes, Prajakta. Who are you struggling with? What's your
So,
relationship problem?
so I usually struggle with my mom, and now like with this call, the person before me, I forgot her name. So I realized the patterns were very similar with my mom as well as with my dad. Like they were very similar personalities. And bachpan se hi, like I felt, though I'm the only child in my family, I'm the eldest one and all. But I always felt that their love language was not the same as mine, and there was always a little bit of disconnect out there. So, and that's what kept on replicating in my other relationships. Like
Right.
I was in a few dating relationships with guys, and I found that similarity in all of them. Okay, ek to they were all very dominant, aggressive, which qualities matched up with my dad, and they were not very open, vocal about it. There was always some sort of miscommunication out
And
there.
you had the same complaint with your dad.
Yes, yes. And I also realized I have over the period of time, because of all these bad experiences on all, I have also developed that characteristics in my personality. So when I speak to people, I also have kind of that shrewdness, that aggression in my tone or something. It has become a part of me. Like,
I'll
so,
tell you why.
yes.
What we hate the most, we become the most. The more we judge people, our mind is constantly talking about those people. So those qualities become part of our subconscious mind, and then we actually become that.
Hmm.
So the complaints that you had with your father, not only did you not have the ability to deal with those kind of people in the future, you became that kind of a person.
Yes, and the worst part is like my father has passed away. Like he passed away 2, 3 years back, and all these issues I never had with my mom when he was there. But now all these issues have started coming up with my relationship with my mom and with my daddy also.
So
So
that
like
means,
there's a lot of miscommunication, a lot of unrelatability. I cannot relate to them anymore.
question is your father gone?
Not really. He's always there in thoughts.
No, those complaints are still here.
Hmm.
All the qualities that troubled you about your father are still here. You can never run away from your source, Prajakta. You can never run away from your source. You can physically go away from them. You can materially go away from them. They can die. You can go to a different country. But they, that quality will always haunt you because you are running away from that quality. Your dad was a very dominating personality.
Yes.
He was trying to teach you the skill of how to deal with those dominating people by learning how to be assertive and standing up for yourself.
Hmm.
Because you did not learn that, you had a lot of disadvantage at a very early age, where people like your dad came in your life, dominated you, took you for granted, and you had no power, You were helpless many times in your life. Am I right?
Yes.
You attracted people who took you for granted.
A lot.
You attracted people who would not let you express yourself fully. They would suppress you.
Not exactly. Like the moment I used to express, they used to distance themselves.
That is called suppression.
Yeah.
Emotionally unavailable.
Yes.
That's what your father was.
Hmm.
You had no idea how to deal with men who are emotionally unavailable.
Yes.
And then you developed the same qualities that you hated about your father.
Hmm.
And once you develop those qualities, even though you're a girl, again, a lot of yang qualities came in.
Yeah.
The aggression, the way of speaking. And once that came in, attraction was missing.
Hmm.
And then you started feeling lonely again.
Yes.
But you don't tell everybody that you're lonely, because if you told people that you're lonely, it would mean that you're weak. And you don't like looking weak in front of people, do you?
Yeah. True.
So you're
I
very
don't.
careful of, yeah, you're very
Yes.
careful of what people think about you.
Hmm. Yes.
That's because you don't want people to realize that you're weak, but actually you are.
Yeah.
Right now, if I was not on the video call and if there were no 200 people right now, you would have ended up crying right now. You're,
Yes.
you're literally stopping yourself right now.
Hmm.
But that's because you're suppressing yourself all the time. So if you observe, not only your dad dominated you all your life, now you are the one dominating yourself. You're the one suppressing yourself. You don't allow yourself to express yourself. So when others are emotionally unavailable, slowly, guess who became emotionally unavailable to you now?
Hmm.
Yeah. And now you started looking for love where?
And others.
Everywhere other than inside,
External.
externally,
Yes.
all the time. And the more you got it externally, the less you felt complete. You kept feeling like something is missing.
Hmm.
But you
Yeah.
never thought about the concept this way, that the problem was not those people. The problem was your relationship with your parents.
Hmm.
And that is why it's coming up with your grandmother. That is why it's coming up with your mother. But I will show you this exercise right now, which we will do in the next lesson. I guarantee you, once you do that exercise, suddenly when all your problems with your mother are gone, all your problems with your grandmother are gone, which are the same problems that you had from your father, you will feel the presence of your father like you've never felt before. You'll feel the connection of your father like you've never felt before. And the moment you feel that, you'll feel complete because you're connected back with your source. And
I
once
like.
that completion is back, you'll not be hunting guys to complete you. You'll then have a companionship just because it's good to have a companionship, nothing else. Okay, so look forward to it because it's going to happen in the next lesson very soon. All of you on mute, give her a high five. Congratulations for magical love.
Congratulations for
Congratulations for
magical
magical
love.
love.
Congratulations for
Magical
magical
love.
love.
Congratulations for magical love.
Mute and tell me, did that make sense? Did some of you learn something about your own life about this?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
100%.
yes,
Yes, sir,
100%.
got
very
it.
much.
Yeah, very much.
All right. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to write down in the notepad. What are the problems that you've had with your parents? Take a new page for this. Take a completely new page for mom. Take a completely new page for dad. And if possible, two sides like this where you can see mom and dad together. And write down all the complaints that you've had with your mom, all the complaints that you've had with your father. And ask yourself, where have I manifested these qualities in my life? And then write down the names of people who have similar qualities as your mom or your dad and those qualities that you don't like about them. And you'll realize you've not been able to run away from them. You keep manifesting those people in your life who behave with the same qualities. In fact, some of these qualities which you've hated the most in them, guess what has happened? Where have those qualities come? Show me your hands. Inside you. Because what you think about the most is what you become the most. What you hate the most is what you become the most. Right? And these are also skills missing in your life. Skills means if you have a father who's emotionally unavailable, you don't know how to deal with these kind of people. That's the lack of skill I'm talking about. And then over a period of time, maybe you become emotionally unavailable. Okay, so these are some of the examples. I want you to make a note of this, and then I'm going to shift you to Zoom rooms, and I'll tell you why. I want you to share what has been your biggest realization right now. What has been your biggest learning right now? And what is the bulb on moment that's going on? Like some of you have this bulb that was off in your brain for a long time, and suddenly it's on. And there's like a huge sense of realization right now. I would like to have one or two of you to share with me before you go to the Zoom room to show you what you really have to share. So, who wants to share what's been your biggest realization so far? All right. So, going to Charles. Yes, Charles, what's been your biggest realization so far?
Mitesh, just give me 2 minutes. I'll get you in another room.
Yeah, sure. In the meantime, I'll connect with Sharfuddin. What's been your biggest realization so far in the conversation?
Hello, sir. Yeah, I figured out a lot of complaints that I have regarding my dad, especially it manifests in some of them it in me and some of them is in my girlfriend, I would say. So, and some of the complaints that I have with my mom, it manifested in my career with my boss. Like my mom is micromanaging and I don't have that quality, and that my boss has that.
And you don't know how to deal with your boss, just the way you don't know how to deal with your mom.
Exactly, exactly. And my mom always makes me doubt like my questions, my decisions that I manifested in my colleagues. Whenever I'm doing something, they would ask me, okay, so is this the right process of thinking? Logical thinking and decision making process. For my dad, I have abandonment issue. Whatever I did was not enough for him. He always compared.
Abandonment issues, which means he kind of left you alone, or you
Yeah.
felt that he left you alone.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
When I needed him the most.
When you needed him the most, and you always felt that he was not there for you when you needed him.
Exactly, exactly. And he would make like overcommit things that like I would do this and that, and when the time comes, he would just pull back.
Okay. Where did you manifest that?
My self-trust issue. I don't trust myself, and I have hard time trusting the girls I'm dating.
And do you also now overcommit to yourself and don't deliver?
Exactly. Yes. That's right.
Are you also emotionally unavailable to yourself when you need yourself the most?
Yep. You got
And who
that.
else in your life is like your father like this? Is there anybody else in your life who's manifested this quality?
So I'm talking to a girl. We are planning to get married. We have been on and off for last 3 years. And she ghosted me. She disappeared.
When she needed you, she disappeared. When you
Yeah.
needed her, she disappeared.
She disappeared. Yeah. And all those things, the trauma and everything about my parents and everything started to resurface. And then we started to connect last week and she came. So she made me feel that I would not be able to provide her financially, which comes from like I'm not good enough,
I'm not good
like
enough.
whatever I'm earning from my dad. My dad always complains like, how much are you earning? My stuffs are more than that.
Whoa.
Yeah. And that's
So,
very funny actually.
so you see, you can never run away from your father.
Yeah, I have done Ho'oponopono like with my father. It came down, but I'm still not comfortable talking to him. We don't have very good.
You need to identify these qualities, these complaints, and then resolve that, which is what we'll do in the next lesson. Wow.
Thank you.
Super proud of you, Sharfuddin, which is very, very honestly, you identified all those complaints and where you manifested them, either in yourself or in the people around you. Amazing. Awesome
Yeah.
realizations. Congratulations. Half the job is done.
Another thing is like my dad would always like whenever he provides for us, and he would use that since he's the financial provider, like that would he use against us like siblings, like me, my sister.
Right.
And I realized when I am talking to like someone and they are asking for financial support, let's say for like potential spouse, I have resistance in my mind. Like, why would I do everything? You don't want to do anything and all that thing. So that's another complaint, biggest complaint I had with my dad.
So
He
same
didn't
quality you demonstrate with others.
others, exactly. That manifested in me.
Wow. Wow. Amazing realization. Congratulations for that. All of you on mute, give him a high five. Congratulations for magical realizations.
Congratulations for magical realization.
Magical realization.
By the way, how many of you learned a lot from his conversation right now? Raise your hands. Like, you probably learned more from him as a summary than you learned in the last 45 minutes of my conversation. Raise your hands. Correct? Because true stories will always teach you more than you will ever learn from anybody. I promise you that. Okay. Let's have a couple of more sharings so you know exactly what to do in the Zoom rooms. This is what I want you to do in the Zoom room. No question answers, no discussions. I just want you to share, these are the complaints I had with my parents, and this is how I manifested them either in my life or in the people around me, and then give me those examples exactly. Okay. So going to Parul. Yes, Parul. Give me examples.
Hi, yeah, I've been having issues with my husband for the last 13 years. We've been physically living apart. 7 years, no relationship of intimacy. Children have 100% rejected me, both my daughters. He has also 100% rejected me. And I'm working on a document for separation and divorce right now, currently in the works. And in desperation is what I had joined Platinum. I wasn't able to keep up with your daily magic program every day because it's been quite a turmoil. But I've been working on it through all your older
So what have you
videos.
realized in the last 45 minutes?
Well, my dad definitely was not emotionally available. He was physically impaired in the sense, mentally, he was an epileptic patient. So he was never able to really take care of the family as a man. So we were in a big joint family like any Indian family. So automatically the family got taken care of.
So
My
tell me
mother
less
was always
details. Tell me less details. Tell me the quality I did not like and how it
okay.
manifested in
So
me
what
and
I
others.
did not emotionally unavailable, very dominating because he was frustrated, a lot of frustration in him, and it's just that he was never heard, never ever heard.
So,
Now
so
the
these were
same
the
thing that
complaints you
kept him in
had.
my
Yeah. So I want you to
for
connect
my
back and tell me.
father. So with my husband, he felt that I never heard him, that I could never hear him. Though I was very expressive, I was very outgoing, I could make friends easily, everything I could do. But he felt that, of course, the yang energy was very strong in me, which I came to know later on, very dominating in that sense, aggressive probably, which he couldn't take. So he said, he also once said that I don't need another man in the marriage. So he made that comment to me. But then after he had this, when I came here to the US for last 13 years, I've been here for my kids to bring them up for education here. He actually started having multiple relationships.
Yeah, because he's missing a woman.
Yeah.
He's missing the yin energy.
Yeah. So now what he has done is he wrote a book on narcissism, and he calls me a narcissist.
Come back from details. Come back from details. Qualities that I have complaints. Where did I manifest in me and others? Keep going back to that point.
Yeah. So basically that's what I saw. Now there was another factor in the house that grandfather died very early. Father was incapacitated. There was one another male member
Hold on.
also.
So I'm training you how
So
to
my
share in Zoom
aunt.
rooms. Hold on, Parul, hold on. Here is how I want you to share. Look at your notepad. Don't look at me. Look at your notepad and say, the quality I was complaining from my father was, this is how I
Basically
manifested.
incapacitated.
Hold on. This is how I manifested that either in myself or in the people in my life. That's it. And then go to the next point and the next point and the next point. Because the faster you share those complaints, the more realizations will happen. The stories and the details don't do anything for you or for me. The realization comes from the learnings. So go back to that and read it for me again.
Okay, so here I have it here. Absent, angry, loud. He carried a lot of hurt and pain, could not communicate properly, had no exchange of love, care, or friendship, not available for any of his children, though he had a lot of passion for music and things like that, it was never appreciated, never saw that side of him. So the
Where
same
did
thing
this
has happened
manifest
in
for
my
you?
life.
Where did this
Sorry?
manifest? Where did this manifest for you?
The greatest lack I feel is with my husband. I felt that the most,
Which
even
of
with my
these
children.
qualities manifested in your husband which you did not like in your father?
Betrayal.
Okay.
I found a lot of betrayal, rejection,
Okay.
non-acceptance.
Okay.
Though he took very good care of me, last 13 years is what the intensity has been the most of
Okay. So
all
the
these
qualities
things.
that you rejected in your father, repeat with me, the qualities.
Yes. The what I rejected was all of that anger, not being able to
Manifested in
connect.
my husband.
Yes. And not
Right.
being able to connect, though we came together in love for the longest time, but it changed from 2008 or 9, it started changing, and then with the physical. So what confusion I have in my mind and identifying between the two is because the first part was decent and good.
Yep.
The second half of my life became pretty intense. That's when I was I'm confused as to what to relate with what and why. I don't know. And that desperation kills me, from the inside, that
That's
why I
because
can't pinpoint.
So that's because not only did you eventually manifest those qualities that you hated the most in your father, you manifested that in him, but also because as the time went on, your yang quality went up and up and up. And he started missing that woman. He started missing that female connection. He started missing that chemistry. First 4 years, 5 years, 7 years, both of you compromised with each other. He compromised with you, you compromised with him, but then a time comes in everybody's life where the limit is crossed. And when the
Yeah,
limit
that's
is
what he
crossed,
feels frustrated.
exactly.
Yeah, he feels.
Once you cross that limit, and it's not just him, even your limit was crossed. He also did not fulfill a lot of your expectations. You will understand what they are today, later. But once he also did not fulfill your expectations, your limit was also crossed. And that's when the problem started. And because you do not have any relationship mastery lessons and coach, 7 years later, when that problem started, it became worse and worse and worse and worse because you were trying to handle it yourself instead of learning it from
Yeah.
someone else.
And I felt my father felt used all the time, though he couldn't express it how. I feel the same now. I
Now
feel
you understand.
desperately
This
used.
is the realization that I wanted you to have, that whatever the problems that you felt were the complaints you had with your father, either that's manifested in your behavior or either that's manifested in the people around you. But it's always there. Until you go back and connect with your father again, these problems will keep reappearing. Now, how to do that, we'll come to the next lesson. But this is the realization
Does
that I
it
want you
does
to
it
have.
even relate to any other major caretaker in the absence of father? Like my father was not really available for us all the time, but we had the dominance of my aunt and the influence of my aunt
Of
because we were a
course,
joint family. So
whoever
they
you are
compare
growing up
me a
with,
lot with her.
yep. So whoever you're growing up with, it can be grandmother, grandfather, auntie, anybody. The qualities of complaints that you have with them the most are the ones you're going to manifest in your life and the lives of other people around you.
And then I looked for the quality that I was missing in my father, in my
Yes.
best friend's dad, who was also a distant relative and friend at the same time. And he was the one who completed a lot of that requirement of a father. But then later on, at some point, even with relationship, as we grow, get married and all
So
of
for the
that
next two
distance
days
stopped.
now, what do you need to focus on? Do you need to focus on these stories or do you need to focus on the lessons of how do you complete that and go back to the source?
No, go back to the source.
I'll show
But
you how
then
to
I
do
will
that in the
need
next
your
lesson.
help in the end. But I would need your help in the end how to identify and connect these because there is so many
The next
aspects and
lesson
so
will show
many
you.
people.
The next lesson
Okay.
will show you. But what you need to do is your yang energy right now is not allowing you to learn because you're thinking so logical that you want step-by-step guidance.
Yes.
You want all the solutions now, like give me help, give me help. And that's the aggression that's coming out right now.
Yeah.
And it's coming out from a good intention of solving your problems. I get that. But that's not going to help you. You have to go with the flow, right? This is what probably happened with your husband. He wanted to go with the flow, but you wanted to go in a specific way. And there would always be
Yeah.
conflicts about that.
Yeah.
So for the next 2 days, I would say, Go with the flow, and I promise you, and the reason I promise you, I've seen so many people like you who've come in the morning feeling completely in chaos, feeling completely scattered, and in the first day evening you'll feel sorted instead of scattered. But you will not feel that by getting answers to your questions, I guarantee you, because I will not be doing
True.
question answers in this program. You will feel that by going through the steps the way I show you.
There have been occasions where I have felt like that, where I feel sorted, I feel good, I feel elated, I go about doing my work nicely. And then whenever I have to encounter an answer to his email, like that is
Parul, you're
related
going
to
back to your
our,
story. Parul, you're going back to your story.
so I don't know how to kind of hold
You
it
don't need
because
to.
without,
You don't need to.
okay,
Just wait.
okay,
Just wait. Wait. You need to stop working on that problem in your head. Stay with me. Stay in this lesson.
okay,
Stay with the
sure.
next lesson and the next lesson and the next lesson, and things will sort it out on their own. I promise you. The first part I want you to stay with right now is the complaints that you've had with your parents. You have manifested that in your life and the lives of people around you. Just stay with that. How to resolve that? That next lesson is coming yet. Is that clear?
Thank you.
All
Sure.
right. All of you on mute. Give her a high five. Congratulations for magical realizations.
Congratulations for
Magical
magical
realization.
realizations.
Doing these discussions because I wanted to train you what to do in the Zoom room. Everybody take your one finger like this. Say no question answers in the Zoom room. Two fingers, say no discussions in the Zoom room, only practice. Now, practice is what I tell you. In this particular case, practice is you will simply go to the Zoom room and start reading from your notebook, and you'll say, the complaints I realized I have from my father are, or the complaints I have realized from my mother are, read. Don't go into details, read. I realized I manifested this in myself. This is my behavior. I realized this is I manifested in my life partner and I'm running away from that. That's it in short. Okay. We'll take one more example so that you get a really good example before you go to Zoom rooms for this. Going to Arvind. Yes, Arvind. Give me examples. What have you realized? Sorry, I can't hear you, Arvind. Voice is not there. I think your mic's not connected.
Yeah, my dad
Yeah,
was
now I can hear you. Now I can hear you.
yeah, very aggressive throughout my childhood. So I
Sorry,
see the
start again
same.
because I couldn't hear the first 5 seconds.
Yeah, my dad was very aggressive and very I saw him angry throughout the time. So I see the same similar behavior from my wife. So second thing is I felt lack from him on the love, money, and all of them. So I was able to experience throughout that. And the third thing is dominating. So he never used to listen to me what I was saying. Uh, he never heard what I wanted to say. I see a similar behavior even in my career in the past, working and also with the friends and also with the partner. And he trusts people easily, and I have that was the biggest problem for me. I have trusted and given so many. I did major bad decisions in my life, which is I
Or giving
struggled a lot.
people
And
money blindly.
yeah, money and blindly, and I see that one. And also one more thing is I never saw he expressive to my mom. He's
Mm.
always he doesn't share much things, and I see a similar things is happening in my relation. So even though we are there, but I see that that openness is not there. And some of the things from my mom is she doesn't react. She always be more submissive. I see that quality in me, that when the person is aggressive, I always takes okay. I try to I don't express because where that other person get hurt. So that was the that I see in my throughout my career, even in my relationships, and even in my team. Someone does a mistake, I don't take stand. I just say it's okay. So that is
Right.
impacting. And other than that, I also felt insecure. I think my dad was insecure throughout in my childhood. I feel that insecurity in me right now, where anything which I do, that is the first emotion. I see my topmost emotions. I see it was there in my dad, and
Wow.
the same emotions I'm attracting in all other areas. And
That is good
definitely,
realization.
yeah. But every time I'm doing exercise, I'm hearing more and more, because the first time when I did in the first relationship mastery, now it is for me it is a brand new right now.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah,
Because the first time, whatever complaints you've had, you've already resolved that.
yeah, resolve
That is
that,
why you
and now
started
I'm
growing in your financial life. You started growing in your
yeah,
relationships. And I'm amused that how easy it is for us to realize when you're really open. Like, because you're open, I think you're attending what, third time or fourth time?
Yeah, third time.
Third time. And in spite of that, you've realized some things are still missing in the connection of the source.
Yes,
Awesome.
because I
Thank you
still
for
see
your
that
honesty.
the relation is one of the thing I really wanted to improve this year. Focus is to work on more on the relations.
Awesome. Congratulations, Arvind. All of you on mute, give him a high five. Congratulations for magical realizations.
Congratulations, Arvind, for magical realization.
Congratulations.
Right. How many of you got clarity on how to share in the Zoom room? Type in clear in the chat window. Did you see how much time did Sharfuddin take? How much time Arvind took? 3 minutes maximum. So in the Zoom rooms, you will allow maximum 3 minutes for one person to share. Most important input. When you go to the Zoom rooms, by rule, no advertisement of your own courses, no promotion indirectly or directly, no sharing of mobile numbers, no sharing of email ID in the chat window at all, especially because there are more than 200 people attending. I don't know every single person who's attending the course today. Never share your mobile numbers and email IDs on open chat on a forum like this, because your numbers are connected with your bank accounts, your Aadhaar card. A lot of scam can happen. Recently, I was scammed, by the way, so all of you be careful of this. There is a guy who recently started scamming some of my students, sending them messages in the name of my team saying, "Hi, I am from Team IMK, and I heard you want to join Platinum. Here is your link." And there are two people who ended up paying a huge amount of 50,000 rupees as a down payment for Platinum, and that money has not come back. That money has gone to somebody else. It has nothing to do with me. And then these people have sent an email to me saying, "Where is the Platinum approval?" And now we're working with the police to find out who this guy is. But what I'm trying to say is, scam happens. So please do not share personal details in open chat window. How many of you are clear about this? Raise your hands. And also giving you instructions to all of you that in my team, if anybody connects with you saying make the payment here, never make the payment. Okay. Official payments are always done by official links on my website or links directly shared by me in this chat window. That's it. Nowhere else. Everybody clear of this? All right. So just be careful of that in the future. Now let's go into Zoom room, and I want every single one of you to share what some of these people share. What are the complaints I have recognized with my parents, and how I have realized that this has manifested either in my behavior or in the behaviors of people around me, and I don't know how to deal with that, and what are the problems happening in my life because of that. Take maximum 15 minutes in Zoom room. I want minimum 5 people to share. So if there are 15 minutes per person, maximum 3 minutes. Don't let anybody hijack your Zoom room. Don't let any one person take 10 minutes of the conversation. After 3 minutes, somebody keep a timeline and say, okay, let's go to the next person, please. How many of you promise no detailed stories, only to the point sharing? Raise your hands, please. All right, super. Let's go to Zoom rooms now. Here we go. So you'll have approximately 22 to 23 people in your Zoom rooms. We want minimum 5 people to share, and your 15-minute starts now. Here we go. All right. Now, those of you who are part of YouTube Live right now, this is your chance now to be part of the Relationship Mastery course formally. Has the first lesson been of super value to you? If yes, quickly subscribe to the channel and give it a quick thumbs up and hit that bell icon so that the next time I'm bringing a free lesson like this for you, you definitely get a notification. So did you hit the subscribe button? Type in yes in the YouTube live chat that you've hit the subscribe button and the bell icon both. Share this video with 3 of your friends who think they can also get value from this lesson. Now, if you want to be part of the full day workshop, today and tomorrow full day, there's a link that my team members are going to share with you right now. Using that link, make the payment. The fees will be on that link right now. It's a very small fees. Immediately after you join, you'll get access from my team on Zoom using the WhatsApp number that they will give you in the chat window. On that WhatsApp number, share the payment screenshot, because remember, I just spoke about the spam. So only use the link given to you by my team member, and on that page, when you finish the payment, send a screenshot on WhatsApp to my team members. They will give you access on Zoom immediately. Before you make the payment, I want you to know that if you really want to take your relationships to the next level, this is your chance. For the next 5 years or 10 years, instead of struggling in your relationships, it can take only 2 days for you to upgrade your life skills for the rest of your life in relationships, and not only improve your relationships but improve your career, your financial life, because all of that is stuck because of the lack of relationship skills that you have. So while you're making the payment, I'm going to quickly show you everything that is included in the relationship course for you. Give me a second. Just give me 1 minute. By the time you are making the payment, I'm just going to bring that slide back for you. All right. So those of you who are on YouTube Live right now, this is what you're getting as part of the Relationship Mastery course. First, you're getting the entire Relationship Mastery course recordings for a lifetime. This is worth 1 lakh. Then you're getting online community support where you can connect with other community members and talk to them. Third, you're getting the bonus live workshop, which is happening right now, live today and tomorrow. This is a bonus. I don't even charge for this because actually the live workshops are happening for the platinum members. But right now you're getting this as a bonus for Relationship Mastery. The bonus you will also get is 30 days DMP free. You will get Advanced LOA lesson number 1 free. You'll get Wealth Mastery lesson number 1 free. You'll get NLP lesson number 1 free. Ho'oponopono course lesson number 1 free. You will also get Practical Spirituality lesson number 1 free. Handwriting course lesson number 1 free. Freedom Investments course lesson number 1 free. Health Mastery course lesson number 1 free. Perfect Affirmations template, HRCM morning affirmations and evening affirmations, and vision board. All of this is part of the course. The total value goes beyond 3,10,000 rupees, but that's not what you're paying. You're paying the fees that you see on the screen right now. And this is a one-time investment for lifetime learning. The course recordings are with you forever. And the best part is the live course, which I've actually designed only for platinum members. You will get access to the live course to attend this as many times as you can. Okay, so quickly take advantage. Use the links given to you in the chat window. Join in. I will see you soon inside the course. Bye. And those of you who loved being in YouTube Live today, please say loved it in the chat window. And remember to share this video with 3 of your friends who need to learn from this lesson. Hit the subscribe button and the bell icon after that. I'll see you soon in the next YouTube Live.